Well, now to central New South Wales, the waters of Lake Burrendong, Wellington Caves, and a farm that shares rabbits. There's a rural serenity in the Wellington district, 4 hours drive west of Sydney. We've arrived just as autumn's first chill is turning the leaves to hues of golden yellow and orange. It's in these colourful settings that I meet Todd Ferguson, whose job it is to promote and develop Wellington for business and tourism. First sight on his agenda is Lake Burrendong, the dammed waters of the Macquarie River that has 3 times as much water as Sydney Harbour. Wonderful dam here.
Oh, it's magnificent, and it's one of the many hidden treasures of Wellington that people often don't hear about in the general media. But when people come here, they realise what a brilliant place it is, and it's very tranquil, and people like to come out here and relax. It's a huge amount of water, and of course for leisure sports it's absolutely perfect for water skiing, boats of all sizes and types, canoeing, that sort of thing. It's wonderful.
Close to the lake is a wonderful collection of trees and plants known as the Wellington Arboretum.
The Arboretum really surprises a lot of people. It's a magnificent spot, but it's a sort of place that people don't hear about. It's like a lot of things in Wellington. It's really a hidden treasure, and it's only when friends and relatives come here and go home and they say you have to see this place. It's really quite incredible that other people come along and have a look and are really blown away. It's quite incredible. Really what they've done is created the environment that you'll see in rainforests throughout the world. But we've got it in the dry climate here of the central west of New South Wales. But they've really recreated it to what it really is like in a rainforest. So for people that live in Wellington, Dubbo or Orange, they can pop down the road and have a picnic and feel like they're in a rainforest environment.
Next stop, a most unusual property, the Wellington Angora Farm, that houses an exotic collection of animals. For most of its history, this property, like so many in the district, has run merino sheep. But the latest owner has made it more like a zoo with camels and ostriches. There are some kangaroos and a collection of koalas. This mother's young Joey has just emerged from the pouch and clings tenaciously to her fur as it claws its way upwards. It's this theme of cute and cuddly that certainly applies to the farm's main attraction, its Angora rabbits. As we're about to learn, they're not just for display, they shear these rabbits and sell their wool. Lyle Wykes is the farmer behind this concept. All right, Lyle, you've got an Angora here.
We certainly have.
Beautiful, beautiful specimen. They're big rabbits, aren't they?
Yes, sir. He's escaped.
They don't normally hop about, do they?
No, they're pretty tame.
So these are rabbits that were bred in Germany, been bred over 200 years, so they've had all the wild streak taken out of them.
That's right. They've been bred to cut more and more fibre, just like our merino sheep.
And the purpose of these Angoras is to grow this beautiful, healthy collection of fur, eh? Would you call that fur or wool?
No, you call it wool, Angora wool, and it's used to make mainly women's knitwear.
All right, Lyle, so this is the shearing table.
This is called a revolver rabbit, and what we do, we take 4 restraints and we tie him up by the legs like this. It's very hard to shear a rabbit running around the floor.
How often do you have to shear a rabbit?
Once every 3 months. So they get really used to it. You can see this rabbit's showing no fear at all. Well, first of all, when you shear a rabbit, a sheep or a goat, you take off their stomach wool or their belly wool first. So we've got to turn him upside down to take off his belly wool. So we just turn him up like that to remove the belly wool, just like a shearer does on a sheep.
How much do these rabbits weigh, Lyle?
Well, up to around 5 kilos.
So 5 kilos, and then the wool that you'll take off?
I normally cut like 200 grams or 250 grams, somewhere in that range, every 3 months, so a kilo a year.
You go right over the face as well?
Yeah, and I shear them all over. It's like pruning roses, you do the lot. You don't do half your plant. The shearers normally can shear a sheep in about 3.5 minutes, but rabbits are such a small, delicate animal, it's not near as quick. It's more like 10 to 15 minutes per animal.
So now you do this manually, eh?
We do this manually because it's very delicate. Just take the fluff off his ears. If you don't remove it all, it just goes in knots. So, and there he is, Sean.
You call him Sean, eh?
Yeah, Sean.
Well, he looks a bit bedraggled, really.
Yeah, well, he's not as cute as he was, but 3 months' time, he'll be back up here again with the same amount of fibre.
So, Sean, the Angora rabbit, has been shorn. Now Lyle's wife, Virginia, takes over the process.
I started spinning about 30-odd years ago, and because of my spinning, I was interested in spinning different fibres, and I came across these rabbits that are in New Zealand, and so before long we found ourselves over in New Zealand importing these rabbits, which came from Denmark and Germany, and here we are today.
What sort of garments are you making?
You can make vests, jumpers. It takes, each time Lyle shears a rabbit, there's enough to make 1.5 jumpers. Beautiful to wear. It's really, really soft to feel, and it's really is much warmer than wool.
From shearing rabbits to Wellington's prehistoric past. At the Wellington Caves, they've found evidence of giant wombats, the Diprotodon, the largest marsupial to ever live. Bruce Day is guiding us to where their bones have been found. Bruce, a very impressive find.
These graceful giants used to live in the valley here, and these red sediments that are filled around us here have washed in from the valley into the cave system and brought their bones in with it.
This was the first find of its kind in Australia?
In 1830 by Major Mitchell. When he was here, he was asked to look at the unusual ground makeup here, and he returned to the surface with a femur and a few other pieces.
So we see not only the remnants of this giant wombat here, but we see bones right throughout the rocks around us.
Yeah, and they're not just of this fellow himself. We have great kangaroos that used to be here. They're called the Procoptodons. We've found the bones of the devil, the thylacine, and even of the marsupial lion Thylacoleo, who haven't been found on this hillside.
It's not only prehistoric bones that are to be found down here. The limestone caves have an excellent collection of stalagmites and stalactites. Bruce, it's huge. You call it the altar, don't you?
Yes, we do. The name came about from the first ones coming in and finding it situated right where it is in a large chamber like this. They gave the cave itself the name of the cathedral because of the size area that this has here. A formation, a crystal formation that stands 15 metres tall, has a measurement around the base of 32 metres.
Now, this stalagmite is still growing. There's still evidence of formations forming as we speak.
As we speak, if you look up to the side here, you'll still see water moving down here. We're lucky from those rains that we had around Christmas time. We've still got a bit of that water hanging around. But the white areas that you see glistening in the light here is all new crystal. So you have got a formation that's still building crystal upon crystal. We have choirs that come here and orchestras that have concerts here. And we also have the Christmas carols here every year. When somebody holds a note down here, because of the acoustics of the cave, a good note, the hairs on the back of your neck always stand up. And always, the shiver down your back, always.